The committee's investigation kept bringing them back to what happened in Georgia.
Mr. Giuliani, what are you doing here in Georgia?
Giuliani was there to make his case to the Republican state legislature.
I see you too. Oh, I'm not gonna give her.
Never give up.
Nope.
He was very jovial, I have to tell you. I think he had gotten basically a king's welcome by all the Republicans. It was like, you know, he was their superstar or whatever. They all wanted pictures with him. They were all so impressed with him and couldn't believe that he was there, and very obsequious.
Giuliani and others from Trump's team had come with a conspiracy theory. Election workers were counting suitcases of illegal ballots.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Jen Jordan, a Democratic state senator, was in the room with Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, and Trump's other lawyers.
They are going to pull ballots out from underneath a table. Watch this table.
You had the woman who was narrating.
This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids.
And saying, you see this woman here, you see her here.
At about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're gonna roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're gonna start pulling these ballots out from under this table. I don't know the name of the lady in the blonde braids, and one of them had the name Ruby across her shirt somewhere.
She's taking the ballots out, and now she's, you know, filling them in, or she's stealing these ballots.
It was an allegation Trump personally amplified.
There is even security camera footage from Georgia that shows officials telling poll watchers to leave the room before pulling suitcases of ballots out from under the tables and continuing to count for hours.
They kept on recycling these things.
The footage appears to show poll workers pulling ballots out of suitcases after they...
It's like playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah, how about those suitcases that were pulled out from the table in Georgia?
Looking at ballots, they're finding them under the tables. I mean, this is like a banana republic.
But the full surveillance video didn't show what Trump and Giuliani claimed.
The magic suitcases, which were really just ballot carriers that had been put under the table about an hour earlier, and they were placed under there with the monitors and the press in the room.
A day after Giuliani's presentation, the video aired on local TV. Their claims were debunked.
This is the short section of the video the Trump team has shared. It's not suitcases being pulled from under that table, but official sealed ballot containers. If we go back in the video to hours before, you can see that table being brought into the room at 8:22 a.m. Nothing underneath, no hidden suitcases, as ballots that have been opened but not counted are placed in the boxes, sealed up, and stored under the table.
No magical appearing ballots. These were ballots that were processed in front of the monitors, put in the boxes in front of the monitors, and placed there in front of the monitors.
And I'll go to my deathbed knowing that they knowingly lied. They looked in the state senator's eyes, the people of Georgia, the people of America, and lied to them about this, and knew they were lying to try to keep this charade going on that there was fraud in Georgia.
But the conspiracy theories continued.
This is not a conspiracy theory. Those are legitimate questions.
I think the woman in charge here is named Ruby Freeman, and I think her daughter, Shaye Freeman Moss, either was helping her here or helping her earlier.
Giuliani had called out by name two election workers, Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman.
After pulling out hidden boxes stuffed with ballots, Ruby Freeman, as seen here in this video, repeatedly scanned the same batch of ballots at least 3 times.
Like the claim about suitcases of ballots, it wasn't true.
The secondary part of that was they're scanning multiple times. And a standard operating procedure is if there's a misscan, you delete that batch and straighten it up like you do and then run it through again. And that's what they were doing. And the reason we know that's the case is because we had a hand tally that showed the number of ballots matched what was counted. So we know that they didn't do that.
I now welcome Andrea Shaye Moss. In December 2020, Ms. Moss and her mother, Ms. Ruby Freeman, became the target.
People say, you know, I know somebody just like those two ladies in my community who work elections. And they are just everyday people. to have them as a witness for our committee. I think it was very powerful.
I understand that you are here along with your mother today. Would you like to introduce your mama? Hi, Mom.
Well, I know the events that we're here to talk about today are incredibly difficult to relive. I'd like to show you some of the statements that Rudy Giuliani made a week after that video clip from State Farm Arena was first circulated by Mr. Giuliani and President Trump. I want to advise viewers that these statements are completely false and also deeply disturbing.
Tape earlier in the day of Ruby Freeman and Shaye Freeman Moss and one other gentleman quite obviously, surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine.
He sounded a lot more desperate. Quite frankly, he seemed more unhinged. He made some overtly racist comments.
They look like they're passing out dope, not just ballots. It is quite clear they're stealing votes. And they're still walking around Georgia lying. They should have been questioned already. Their places of work, their homes should have been searched for evidence of ballots, for evidence of USB ports, for evidence of voter fraud.
But there was no evidence that they were passing USB drives.
In one of the videos we just watched, Mr. Giuliani accused you and your mother of passing some sort of USB drive to each other. What was your mom actually handing you on that video?
A ginger mint.
Passing along a ginger mint back and forth gets spun up into this baseless theory. Not an accident. It is meant to stir up people's anger.
It wasn't just Rudy Giuliani.
And these two black women who are doing their civic duty are vilified.
It really does end up ruining people's lives. I mean, I can't tell you how many emails I got with respect to Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman, and that they should be strung up.
County Police and Fire? Yes, I'm Ruby Freeman. I need an officer to come out. I've been having terroristic threats. I've been having harassing phone calls, and now somebody's banging on the door again. Oh, they screaming. He's still banging on the door. Okay. He's still banging on the door. Lord Jesus, where's the police? They are on the way, ma'am.
Were a lot of these threats and vile comments racist in nature?
A lot of them were racist. A lot of them were just hateful. A lot of threats, wishing death upon me, telling me that, I'll be in jail with my mother, and saying things like, be glad it's 2020 and not 1920.
These women whose lives had been completely destroyed. That's where the story about the state pressure campaign becomes real.
I felt horrible. I felt like it was all my fault. Like, if I would have never decided to be an elections worker, like, I could have done anything else, but that's what I decided to do. And now people are lying and spreading rumors and lies and attacking my mom. I'm her only child. I just felt like it was my fault for putting my family in this situation.
There are real-world consequences to lying and attacking and demonizing innocent people in this country. And Donald Trump has always been very heedless of the human costs of his lies and his gaslighting. And this is a very painful example of that.
Ms. Moss, I want to thank you for coming in to speak with us and to thank you for your service to our democracy. With your permission, I would like to give your mother the last word.
My name is Ruby Freeman. I've always believed that when God says that he'll make your name great, but This is not the way it was supposed to be. I built my own business around that name, LaRuby's Unique Treasures. A pop-up shop catering to ladies with unique fashions. I wore a shirt that proudly proclaimed that I was, and I am, Lady Ruby. Actually, I had that shirt on. I had that shirt in every color. I wore that shirt on Election Day 2020. I haven't worn it since, and I'll never wear it again. Now I won't even introduce myself by my name anymore. There is nowhere I feel safe. Nowhere. Do you know how it feels to have the President of the United States to target you? The President of the United States is supposed to represent every American, not to target one. But he targeted me, Lady Ruby, a small business owner, a mother, a proud American citizen who stand up to help Fulton County run an election in the middle of the pandemic.
Federal prosecutors have cited the lies about Freeman and Moss in their indictment.
Co-conspirator 1 orchestrated a presentation to a judiciary subcommittee of the Georgia State Senate with the intention of misleading state senators into blocking the ascertainment of legitimate electors.
Breaking news in Georgia's investigation into alleged interference in the 2020 presidential election.
In Georgia, prosecutors have also weighed in with their own charges.
Members of the enterprise, including several of the defendants, falsely accused Fulton County election worker Ruby Freeman of committing election crimes in Fulton County, Georgia.
Trump, Giuliani, and others have been charged in Georgia with a host of crimes related to their attempts to overturn the 2020 election. While Trump and Giuliani await trial, 4 of their co-defendants have pled guilty, including Jenna Ellis.
If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump. I look back on this whole experience with deep remorse for those failures of mine, Your Honor.
It's very important that Jenna Ellis pled guilty to criminal charges because it raises the point that, wait a minute, this wasn't a traditional lawyer-client relationship. And so when you have lawyers pleading guilty to crimes, that is broadcasting loudly that they were not providing conventional legal advice.
In a separate civil case, a federal court ordered Rudy Giuliani to pay $146 million for defaming Freeman and Moss.
A legal loss for Rudy Giuliani that could cost him millions.
Rudy Giuliani, the once respected New York mayor and former attorney for Donald Trump, has filed for bankruptcy.
Forced to declare bankruptcy, the latest chapter in a dramatic fall for the man once dubbed America's mayor.